Good morning and welcome to For Fantasy's Sake, the Quad City's first and only fantasy football show. I am your host, Doug, all too well green. He is DJ Jake Gyllenhaal Jarvis. And joining us this week is one Andrew Free Brittany McKay.
Yo!
All right, we are sponsored as always by Mobile Party Experience, the Quad City's best mobile party experience. Yeah, I don't know what the tagline is. I'm terrible with this, and I fully apologize to those guys.
The premier source in the Quad Cities for all your tailgating needs.
Yeah, that. Okay. So, outside of a couple of big weekends for a couple of blonde ladies, got a lot of news going on this week. So let's start right at the top with the quarterback situation. So, just so in case that you are not aware, Ben Roethlisberger is out with the Rona. Rodgers is back from the Rona. Cam re-signed with Carolina, and Russell Wilson came off of the injured list. So, Andrew, out of all of those, what is the biggest news of those four?
I think it's Cam Newton just going back to Carolina. I mean, obviously, a guy's still looking to play somewhere, but he's not the same guy that he was when he won the MVP. Was that 2013, 15? Regardless,
14.
won the MVP.
Let me Google that for you.
But he's not that same quarterback, and we've kind of seen that. But obviously, Panthers are in a desperate situation. They want to get a quarterback. They want somebody who at least is familiar with their franchise. I think that's the biggest news out of them all. You knew Rodgers was going to come back at some point from the Rona, and I mean, he's immunized, so I think he was coming back at some point. Again, Russell Wilson still also coming back at some point, getting off the injured list, and Ben obviously is old and his immune system is not quite there.
True. All right, Deej, put up your ranks. Let's see what things you have gotten wrong this week. Tom Brady at 2. I don't think I've ever seen you have Tom Brady at 2.
Yeah, it's a great matchup with the football team. So it was hard to do it. I had to swallow my pride a little bit. He is QB1 for the season. So
he's QB1 of all time.
Wow. QB1 on the season versus the worst defensive team in terms of fantasy points allowed to a quarterback. Ergo, Tom Brady, QB2 this week.
And then Kyler may or may not play again this week.
Yeah, looks like he's more on the doubtful side of questionable.
I believe that he might be without D-Hop.
Yeah, no Hopkins. The NFL was goofy, got rid of the designations, and you're either questionable or out now. There's no probable or doubtful. You're either questionable or out.
This is what happens when you let Bill Belichick rule the rules committee.
Yeah, it's because of all the times that Tom Brady was probable.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it'd be like that.
That's the truth. Stafford against San Francisco. That's a good one.
I'm just waiting.
Hurts is still doing well.
I'm just waiting for his head to explode at number 11.
Derek Carr. I am not the guy who has the problem with Derek Carr. I only do that for Sicoli.
11 and 12. I mean, Wentz has been pretty good the last few weeks, and then you give him a Jacksonville. I know they were good last week against
Buffalo,
but I do expect them to turn back into the proverbial pumpkin this week. Over the last 5 weeks, Carson Wentz has been quarterback 5, so I'm liking Carson Wentz here.
Not to steal any thunder from our next segment with Mr. Bryan, but he was very high on Matt Ryan this week. So why are you wrong on Matt Ryan, DJ?
Oh, I'm not wrong on Matt Ryan. I just have him in a different place.
No, that's wrong.
I mean, like I say most weeks, there is a little bit of the difference between the salaries in DraftKings and then starting a guy. So he would bump up to that quarterback 13 without Kyler in the conversation. So it just, for me, it kind of depends on which Dallas defense shows up. And
you're that big of a believer in Heineke?
I'm that big of a believer in this week's kind of awful for your options at quarterback. You kind of fall off there that was weird. You kind of fall off there at QB 17, so
yeah. It's so bad DJ didn't even bother to rank past 23. Didn't even bother to give us a 24th one.
What happened there was I took Big Ben out this morning, so
okay. Sure.
I was trying to clean up my garbage.
Mm-hmm. Like I'm supposed to believe that. All right. So I don't see anybody else that's really kind of blatantly wrong here. Damn it, Deej, you did a good job.
Yeah, he did.
I hate that.
Quarterback's ugly.
You're ugly.
I know. Quarterback's ugly, especially this week. We're not necessarily starting Trevor Siemian anywhere. If you're starting Taylor Heineke, you're likely desperate for quarterbacks in a 2-quarterback league, as with Bridgewater. I think you're kind of solid through those top 14, 15. I know you're not 14, 15 as depending on if you keep Kyler in there or not. You're probably not starting Colt McCoy if Kyler doesn't play, which it's looking like he isn't. PJ Walker's an option out there. So we're kind of in a situation where we don't. So we're starting. We're in a week where we're starting PJ Walker, Colt McCoy, Mason Rudolph, and I predict that in Tua's short stint of playing in Miami, he outscores all 3 of those guys.
That's rough. Yeah, what was up with that? I did not see the game Thursday night, but somebody said Brissett got hurt, and the coach told Tua to go in, even though he said he wasn't going to, or something like that.
Yeah, I think that was the situation where Brian Flores is kind of being a player advocate there, and Brissett took a pretty nasty hit, and he immediately grabbed his knee. So I think he was just kind of being a player advocate there and not letting the guy go back in there and hurt himself even more.
So you put in the other guy who's hurt.
Yeah, but it's his finger. There's a little difference there. I mean, he was capable of throwing the ball.
If he was capable of throwing the ball, then he should have been starting.
That's not for
He
you,
didn't, he didn't have to throw the ball to get a touchdown.
That's true.
Okay.
So I do want to touch on a couple of things that are non this week concerned. Make sure you're checking your league settings in the next couple of weeks to check out your trade deadline, because we are coming up on trade deadlines in a lot of leagues. Some leagues this week, some leagues next week. There might even be some leagues that push into week 12. But I'm definitely checking out my settings. If I'm sitting at like 500 right now, this is week 10. So if I'm sitting at 5-4 and I win this week, even if I lose this week and I go to 5-5, I might be trying to make a move to push. I know things are different. There's likely 14 weeks of the regular season, and but most leagues, most years, 7 wins get you into the playoffs. So if you're 5-5, you're expecting to get 2, maybe 3 more wins the rest of the year. So make a move if your trade deadline's coming up. I know one of my leagues, we have a trade deadline Saturday. So
That's DJ's polite way of telling folks to make deals in that league.
I mean, I like to trade. Trading's fun.
Trading is infuriating.
No, not if you don't. Only if you don't know how to do it, Doug.
Well, I clearly don't. I hate it.
No, trading is great time. It's a lot of fun, but it's who you're trading with that kind of makes it fun or not fun.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they overvalue some players.
Some.
And they complain about offers.
Yes.
In one of my leagues, I had a trade that I sent out for DeAndre Swift, and I sent now it was a bad trade. At the time, I sent Damian Harris, Robert Woods, and Jalen Waddle. This was redraft, not dynasty. I thought it was a fair offer, especially because his number one receiver right now is Allen Robinson. So I wanted to give him some options to choose from. And he was sitting at 3 and 5 at the time. So kind of in that middle of the push DJ was talking about to gain some players, maybe sell somebody off that is doing pretty decent for your team, but just to get some more players that can put up points.
Yeah. I like the way you think there, because for me, when I'm making deals, I'm kind of thinking of value of replacement, not necessarily like what you're trading. Because you might be trading one guy who gets you points at one position. However, when you think about you're going from, player A to player B at wide receiver, so trading your, let's say in this circumstances, like you're trading a quarterback. Yeah, when you trade that quarterback, maybe you're losing 10 points a week at that position, but you're gaining, 7 points at running back and 7 points at tight end and 3 points at wide receiver in a trade. That's 17 points, and you're only losing 10 points, in your value of replacement at quarterback. So in all reality, so if somebody else has depth that they can trade you where they're not playing guys, and you're essentially coming out on top. Yeah, you might be trading, Lamar Jackson, but you're getting, Darren Waller when you're playing Cameron Braid at tight end every week. Your net gain there is higher than your loss.
Exactly.
I'm not sour that I tried to put together a package around Darren Waller for Lamar Jackson. It got turned down. Shane, I want to know what trade I backed out of, and you can tell me more after this commercial, and then why Brian comes in and talks about DFS. So I'm very curious about what trade I backed out of.
He's talking to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Doug sucks. What do football fanatics in the Quad Cities love more than Sunday football? Tailgating, partying, before, during, and after their favorite college football games.
Wait, there's usually an Illini reference right here.
Oh, they didn't play this week. I was thinking about making.
So they still lost.
I was thinking about making an Arkansas reference because they did beat LSU on the road last night. So that was real nice. It was a real happy night in the Jarvis household. Mobile Party Experience has your hookup for all your tailgating needs. Mobile Party Experience offers solutions for all types of party throwers and goers. They have towable trailers that offer music, TVs, gaming, private bathrooms with running water, flushable toilets, beverage dispensers, coolers, grills and utensils, tables, chairs, and tents. They have all the amenities you could want or need to host a tailgate party or event. Find them at their website, my-mpx.com, or on Facebook at Mobile Party Experience. Sunday is still the best day at Kavanaugh's Hilltop Bar and Grill. While your favorite jamokes aren't on the deck talking fantasy football, they're still one of the best places in the Quad Cities for your football viewing pleasures. Their back deck is ready to go for football season. The sides are up and the heat is on to protect you from Mother Nature. where you can enjoy the Bears, Packers, and any of your favorite out-of-market teams. If outside isn't your thing, head on into their remodeled inside bar area and watch the NFL Sunday Ticket on their numerous screens and play their adult video games. I hear they have the loosest slots in the Quad Cities. That's Kavanaugh's Hilltop Bar and Grill, 1228 30th Street in Rock Island, the non-bubble home of For Fantasy's sake. Football season is just about halfway done, and if you spend Sundays watching football anywhere but Van's Pizza Pub and Grill, you've been doing it wrong. Van's Pizza Pub and Grill, 3333 North Harrison Street in Davenport, is the best place to catch all of your favorite football games. And there's still time to make it part of your Sunday football routine. Start your meal off with their famous McGuire's Original Nachos or Bready Nuggets. Then ask about one of their original QC-style pizzas, or be your own quarterback and call an audible and create your own. The Vans crew will be sure your play call hits pay dirt every time. Van's Pizza Pub and Grill, 3333 North Harrison Street in Davenport. Come get served. And as usual, around this time, 10:15 Central, well, 10:17 because I'm really slow at reading our ads. We got Brian here to talk a little DFS. And Brian, you guys haven't met. Brian, this is Andrew. He's been one of our contributors here basically since we expanded in our second year. So,
hey, Andrew, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, Brian.
I don't know if you saw Brian. Chris welcomed a beautiful baby girl yesterday, so he'll be on paternity leave for the rest of the year. But I have asked him when he has time to send us some questions in for you because I know he loves to have these conversations with you.
Well, congratulations to him. Is that his first?
Second. He has about a 5.5-year-old boy.
Okay, well, we're thinking about him. Congratulations on that one.
Yeah, I'll let him know. So Doug says if the baby's beautiful, that's because of his wife, not Chris.
I get that. It's usually the case.
Absolutely. So, Brian, my favorite question, I know you would mentioned certain Tampa Bay duo, but other than them, other than Evans and Brady, who are we stacking this week?
Well, I got a few. I mean, at the top, I like Dak. He's actually my favorite quarterback this week, but you can go either direction with.
I think we lost you there for a second, Brian.
I think you froze.
But at 5,000, you could always consider him too.
Who was that? You froze up a little bit.
That's okay. At the top, I'm looking at kind of a Dak CD or a Dak Cooper, and at the bottom in the very same game, I'm going with Ryan and Pitts. I don't love Gage, but 5,000, he might be worth a roll. So, and last but not least, I always like Herbert, and I think this week it's might be Mike Williams' week. So.
Yeah, I was thinking along the same lines there. I was gonna throw out an old Justin Herbert at you and see what you were thinking.
I would very much like a Mike Williams explosion week.
Yeah, he's due. I mean, he's missed 4 out of the last 5 games to put for reduction, so maybe he's finally due. I'm not sure if he's as good as he was at the beginning of the year, but
I think we lost him again.
I think he gets a little spotty sometimes. There you go. You're back.
Yeah, I'm having a little bit of rough production on my end. Hopefully, it seems to happen every once in a while, but hopefully it'll do better.
So with no Waller, no Kelsey on the main slate, and no Mark Andrews, what are your thoughts at tight end this week? Did you catch me there?
I'm back for now. Hopefully it'll stay consistent. We'll see.
What are your thoughts at tight end? Are you going Pitts or are you bouncing down a little further there?
Well, tight end's really weird. If you're looking at the top, you've got Kittle, Kelsey, Waller, and Andrews all playing primetime games, so that makes it a little odd. You've either got to go to the top with Pitts and or Hawkinson per chance, I know in the local area that's always a positive, but I don't mind going a little cheaper. Even though Big Ben's out, I still think Mason Rudolph can hit Pat Fryermuth a few times, so I wouldn't mind something like that.
Are you taking a chance at Dawson Knox with him supposed to probably be back this week?
I don't mind Knox. They've set his price tag as if he hasn't missed any time. He's sitting at 4,500. Needless to say, he has missed time, and you could roll that, but I'd almost go ahead and go a little cheaper or more expensive. Either side of that for me.
Who are your like big time? I want to run this guy. Like, who are your guys that you're definitely putting in as many lineups as you can get today?
I think it has to be Najee Harris with Big Ben out. The Lions are not good against the run at all, and Najee scored at 4 out of the last 5, so I don't mind his price tag. And then for this week, I'm actually really building around running back. So the other one I would consider is Austin.
I believe that's going to be Austin Eckler.
I believe so. Against the Vikings team, yeah.
You're back. Were you saying Austin Eckler?
Yeah, Austin Eckler and or Najee. I'm kind of building around the running backs as opposed to wide receivers this week. And like I said, tight ends are really messed up with with basically the top 4 in Fantasy Pros rankings being on primetime games. So I'm kind of building heavy on running backs. And if you want to go light, don't forget about D'Ernest Johnson getting the start this week and with Nick Chubb. And basically Hunt's already been out. And I could see D'Ernest Johnson being a 3-down back at 4,700. So
is there any worry there for you on Johnson that he's going to be just max owned?
There's always that concern, but at the same time, you can build elsewhere and get not complete consensus picks elsewhere. That just gives you a solid base, a solid floor to start with. Then you can build around him because needless to say, you've got to have a couple inexpensive players. So even if he's highly owned, I'd still take a chance.
What are your thoughts on Cordero Patterson? He's pretty expensive this week.
Yeah, they've adjusted his price tag. Needless to say, obviously that Cowboys-Falcons game is amongst my favorite. I don't mind Cordero, but at the same time, I think there's other players around him. His price tag's finally caught up to his productivity, I think. So
yeah. So on that theme with Cordero Patterson, going a little bit off DFS here, if you're trying to acquire a guy like Patterson, let's say even in dynasty leagues, what are you willing to give up?
That's an awfully good question. I kind of question what his dynasty league price tag would be. He's not young. I think he's around 30 if memory serves. He's been in the league for several years, even though he's been primarily a kick returner.
Yeah.
So it would have to be like a wide receiver too, something like that. If you wanted to go with that, I think he's better in redraft trades value than he would be dynasty in my particular opinion.
Yeah. Is he a guy that if you're trying to make a push that you're going out and getting?
Yeah, if I'm trying to make the playoffs and I'm weak. Well, that's the other thing you got to consider. Like we do CBS leagues. That's primarily my primary platform, and in that he's actually not even listed as a running back. He's only as a wide receiver. So that would be my question. If I can utilize him as a running back, the running back landscape right now is just messed up with all the running backs, Kamara, Chubb, all that being oft injured. It's just if I can get him at running back, sure.
That's one of the things I know that they get banged on for a lot of different reasons, but that's one of the things I really like about my fantasy league is everybody's considered a flex when you're setting your lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely use him as a flex. I mean, like you said, if you're going for the playoffs this year in the redraft, I don't mind him. It just depends on what you're looking at price tag wise, but it would be great if you could use him as a running back for sure. Absolutely. But even as a flex, I don't mind him.
So if we're trying to save money, if we're going heavy, RB, we're throwing in a Najee, an Eckler, whatever. Where are you saving money at wide receiver? Who are some of your bargain bin guys?
Off the top of my head, actually, I like a couple of tight ends first. So I'll kind of change the question a little bit.
No,
but I definitely like OJ Howard. I definitely like OJ Howard in regards to tight ends. And in that same game, you've got Ty Johnson at 3,300 that I think he's worth a roll, because you got to keep in mind that already Gronk is out, and then they've got a couple of injuries along the old Browns out as well. So I think you get a couple of spots there in the Tampa game for cheap. So
Khalif Raymond's been pretty good this year. I know he only had one catch or one target even a week ago. He's got a pretty cheap at 4,900. Is that some guy you're reaching and trying to save a little bit of cash there?
I would like him a little bit cheaper against the Steelers defense that gives up the second fewest fantasy points to wide receivers. I wish they could have gotten me more like 4,500 out of him.
Yeah. Are we ever thinking about Jamal Agnew?
I'm okay with Jamal Agnew. Being perfectly honest, he's one of the few players that I don't know exceedingly a lot about. I know that a lot of people are talking him up, and definitely I think as Trevor Lawrence continues to improve, you can see his value being there. But I don't know, the whole Jaguars offense is still a work in progress, and today we don't know. I mean, I haven't heard yet anyway whether James Robinson is playing or not. I know he's questioned, but last word, and
I actually
have been posted.
I actually have that scrolling below on our thing. He was just ruled active for today.
Well, that helps their offense quite a bit. We don't know what he's going to deal with in regards to the hill and what his touches will look like. But needless to say, one more player in that offense is definitely a bonus.
I'm definitely rolling him in season long, but I would stay away from him in DFS. $6,800. We're staying away from. Are we staying away from Deontay Johnson with Rudolph as the quarterback, or?
No, I'm not. Okay. I mean, let's be honest. I'm actually a Steelers fan, even though I got an Eagles jersey on. I'm a Steelers fan, and being honest, has Big Ben been that great? I mean, I think Mason Rudolph can at least hit the same shots that Big Ben's hitting. So
yeah, basically, one of the big names fantasy shows have it on in the background in the mornings when I'm getting everything ready, and they were basically saying, are we really expecting that Mason Rudolph can't throw the ball 12 times in Deontay Johnson's direction? Because if Big Ben can figure that out at this point, so can Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, it's a lateral move between Big Ben and Mason at this point in time in their careers. Big Ben, I saw a stat the other day that Big Ben's actually completed 25% of his passes over 20 yards. So, I could see Rudolph at least getting 25% of his long passes. So.
I mean, that 25% might be higher than Patrick Mahomes at this point.
Yeah, Mahomes has struggled. I keep waiting for that offense to get together. And being Chiefs fans here locally, I know that eventually that's going to happen. Now, the other guy that's been interesting last week was Dak. I mean, that was just ugly last week. So, like I said, I kind of anticipate him getting on pace too.
Yeah. I should hope so for everybody that owns stock in CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, the cream usually rises to the top, and both Mahomes and Dak will get there.
I did an interesting parlay today where I did Herbert, Dak, Mahomes, and Josh Allen over 2.5 touchdowns apiece. So it got me to like plus 3,400. So I threw a little bit.
That's always fun, right?
Yeah. I like to – so one of the things I like to do with the Chiefs games is have a little bit of money involved. That way, if the Chiefs don't win, I'm not all the way sad.
I don't blame you there. That's one thing that's always been hard for me as a Steelers fan is to place – even though I love the Steelers, I always hate a little extra money riding on them. Even if, in DFS lineups, I'll throw a Steeler or two in there. Like this week, I've got both Freiermuth and Johnson. But it's tough for me to ride money on my favorite team.
Yeah. I do in one of my leagues, like one of the leagues I'm fighting for a playoff spot, and 5-4, I'm the 7th seed right now. And I'm starting Mahomes, Kelsey, Waller, and Josh Jacobs. So I'm going to be chewing on my fingernails throughout that game. I think we're frozen. Oh, you're back. I was saying I'm starting Mahomes, Kelsey, Waller, and Jacobs in one league all together. So I'm going to be chewing on my fingernails throughout the game on that one.
No, I get that. Those are good places to start, though.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Brian. So we're going to let you go here. We'll get to commercial, and we'll see you back half hour.
That sounds good. Right at about 11:15.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll see you then. Y'all have a good 45 minutes.
All right, we'll see you in a bit.
All right, take care.
With 5 locations within the Quad City area, Ray's Barbershop has provided first-class haircutting service, haircutting, and shave since 2010. Ray's Barbershop has been voted the Quad City's favorite barbershop year after year. They take tremendous pride in their work in maintaining the fine art of classic meets modern barbering. Ray's goes above and beyond to make sure their clients' level of satisfaction is met. You won't find the Ray's experience anywhere else. Located in the Belgium neighborhood of 7th Street in Moline, Clint's Draft House Pizza and Grill is home of some of the Quad City's best food and drink specials. On Sundays, there's no better place to be. Clint's is serving up 75-cent wings and $4 Bloody Marys all day. And your favorite team playing in those out-of-market games, you'll never miss a second of the action on one of their 10 screens with NFL Sunday Ticket. And after you've had your wing and bloody fix, finish off your football watching experience with one of their famous Quad City style pizzas. And folks, they know pizza. They've been spinning QC style pies for the last 22 years. So make Clint's part of your Sunday football routine. Clint's Draft House Pizza and Grill, 7th Street in Moline. Who doesn't need a solid handcuff on their fantasy squad? Grab a bite to eat at Clint's Draft House while watching the noon games. Then head on over across the Moline Rock Island border to the Corner Tap for some libations during the 3 o'clock games. Every Sunday is fun day at the corner with $3 tall boys, Bloody Marys, Jack Daniels, and $2 PBR drafts. Head into the Corner Tap, 4018 14th Avenue, Rock Island, and get into the end zone.
And we're back. Okay.
No, you're back.
No.
I've been back.
Yeah, we've been here the whole time.
Yeah, we've been here the whole time. Where you been, Doug?
I've been sitting here listening, eating my Pop-Tart, just like I do every week during the DFS segment. All righty, let's take a look at our running back rankings. Dalvin against the Chargers. I feel like that's a little high there.
They just run the ball a ton. And so one of those things is he's going to get plenty of opportunity in order to matriculate the ball downfield against the Chargers, who have, Doug, despite your thoughts here, they have allowed the second most fantasy points to opposing running backs this year.
Okay. Color me incorrect. Just like the word Christian is misspelled incorrectly.
Autocorrect.
Dang.
Mm-hmm. Who should also be higher because without Sam, they're probably going to run that a little bit more. In there, Swift against Pittsburgh, Cordero, Henderson, James. Oh, yes. So a couple of guys that are out this week. Obviously, no Nick Chubb and no Edmonds this week. They're both gone. So why do you like Connor so high there?
Carolina's also been not very good against the opposing running backs, and Connor's been sneaky good and getting into the end zone. And I assume that they also will run the ball a good amount with no Kyler. So Connor's got all the opportunities to cobble up some fantasy points. He's RB11 in PPR formats this year, playing as a backup, averaging 14.7 points per game. So you got to think with a full load, Connor's probably got a good shot of hitting that 20-point threshold or something like that.
Full load. Okay.
Yes, I said that.
Oh. Also, Alvin Kamara is out this week as well. I forgot to mention.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And so when I made these slides, Kamara was still basically questionable. So Ingram's a little lower than I probably would have liked him. I think he's probably should be on that next slide, probably in the 14 to 16 range.
I was just about to say I couldn't name anybody left on the Saints offense anymore.
Yeah, I'm definitely trusting Melvin Ingram. I'd probably put him probably between Ernest Johnson and Darrell Williams. So
Did you have Kareem Hunt on the first slide?
No, he's not playing.
Oh, he's out too?
Yeah.
I knew Chubb was out. I didn't see about Hunt.
Yeah, Hunt is not back yet.
Some early actives and inactives while we're here. Running back, James Robinson, Ramondre Stevenson, Zach Moss, and Jamal Williams, all active this week.
Alex Collins. I need Chris Carson to come back. I'm holding him in like 6 leagues.
And to answer your question, Jordan, here, yes, I'm playing James Robinson since he's playing.
Yep.
Unless you have 3 guys who are on that first slide.
It's Jordan. He very well could have 3 guys on that first slide.
He could.
He doesn't have any quarterbacks, but he definitely has a bunch of running backs running around. Says the guy starting Trevor Siemian this week in the contract league because Sam's dead, Justin Fields is on bye, and I had to go patch that. So yeah.
I wish I was playing you this week.
Best of luck to you.
I suck in that league. I'm like 2 in whatever. So,
but he has picks.
I have picks, and I have Justin Fields, which is honestly depending upon Gunner, is the most valuable player in the league.
Doug, is that the league that I'm with you in?
No, that's a different league. Because ours is a sleeper league, and that one's still on MFL. No, the sleeper league I just got back. I had to start Jacoby Brissett last week because Brady was on a bye. Or no, Wilson was still hurt, and Rodgers had the Rona. So that got ugly last week. Who else we got on here? Gordon, Javonte Williams.
That's been a really confusing backfield. They've kind of been trading off like who has that big week. Melvin Gordon's RB15. So you're kind of like where you have to play him. But Javonte Williams has been a solid RB2 this year. So he is sitting at RB24. So it's been kind of who's going to get into the end zone with the two of them. But it's been fun.
Fun. You're going to mute me now?
No.
Okay. So then let me say something offensive then. Where are the Chiefs on this list?
Darrell Williams is right there at 17.
Okay. What about your boy CEH? Or is he hurt too?
He's still hurty.
Okay.
Damn.
On Jordan's question, let's answer that one.
Yeah.
Is Antonio Gibson the biggest disappointment at running back of this year?
I was actually thinking about that as I'm filling out the rankings. It's like, who would have thought that we'd be sitting in week 10 and I'd be ranking J.D. McKissick over Antonio Gibson?
Yeah, I think it definitely is, just because of how high his value was to start the year.
Yeah, you had to get him in like the early second to land him. In terms of draft capital, and he just hasn't produced there. I think there was too much talk of he's going to be the next. They wanted him to play in the McCaffrey role, and so everybody just assigned the McCaffrey numbers to him, and that clearly did not pan out that way.
Yeah, I think that we were also talking about early on, like dynasty wise, is you were spending an early first round pick on him. To be able to even have an opportunity to get him.
Yeah, and I don't know if I think it's something that certainly turns around at some point, maybe next season in dynasty formats.
Like that's my question: is what do we need to happen in order for that to actually turn around?
Well, I mean, for one, the football team needs to get a solid quarterback back and not have backup Taylor Heineke playing. when you have your star quarterback, but your starting quarterback go down, teams generally now realize, hey, the backup's going to be playing. They're probably not throwing the ball as much, so we're keying in on this running back.
Yeah.
I agree completely with that assessment because I mean, even with the backup quarterback in there, if they are going to throw it, they're going to throw it to the running back. So as long as they've got somebody kind of spying him, they're probably taking that option away and forcing them to go someplace else.
So in April, at his peak, Antonio Gibson was going at number 16 overall in regular dynasty leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Oddly enough, he's only fallen one spot. He's RB 17 through October, or he's overall number 17. So he was in April, he was RB 11 to RB 9. So even though he's been disappointing in season long, people are still investing in him.
Yeah, in dynasty, invest in the talent and in this. So they're assuming that the talent is there and the scheme is good. It's the players around him, and they're just waiting for the switch to come on. Nyheim Hines.
So what's going to blow your mind here is
Jordan Howard.
I'm going to give you a name, and you tell me more or less fantasy points than Antonio Gibson on the year. Myles Gaskin.
More.
Josh Jacobs.
I said
less.
More.
Okay, so Myles Gaskin is more. Josh Jacobs is less. Damian Harris.
Damian Harris is more.
More.
Dalvin Cook.
Way more.
It's less. But
I think it's less. Yeah.
Dalvin Cook's played 3 less games than him. So
yeah, because Dalvin's been hurt. So
Jordan, I will say yes, he's probably been the biggest disappointment. But yet I scrolled down here based on investment. He's been healthy all year, and you had to invest a lot. I'm also looking down here that Mike Davis is RB 36 for the year. And I know you didn't invest nearly as much, but he was one of those guys that you were taking a little later, trying to get some value out of him. David Montgomery, he's been hurt, so we're going to give him a little bit of a pass. But Miles Sanders, RB 45. So there's been a lot of disappointing players, whether it's been injury or what have you. But based on investment, I would agree Antonio Gibson probably the most disappointing fantasy running back as well,
Yeah, Sanders is pretty terrible too. I'd say those two are kind of neck and neck there. I never thought I'd live to see the day that Jeremy McNichols was an actual fantasy viable option.
I don't know though. Does AP vulture more touchdowns from him though?
That's a good question. AP probably fits the style more when I think of their two running styles. I think that AP and Derrick Henry are very close to one another. Jeremy McNichols, I don't think, is that same kind of running style. So I could see Peterson. I know he's like my age, but I could see him getting getting more of the majority of the work there.
This is me asking as a sad Derrick Henry stockholder.
I think I'm hope I have a fingers
year
crossed.
Buyer, long time listener.
Yeah. I have my fingers crossed he shows up before the fantasy playoffs, but I don't know.
I wouldn't hold your breath. I'd cross your fingers, but I wouldn't hold your breath.
Yep.
Okay. And Jordan, of course, the correct answer here is Chicago.
All right, let's take it to the bridge. We'll come back with wide receivers. Bad Boys isn't hard to find. Now serving in 3 different locations, Moline, Davenport, and downtown Davenport at River Music Experience. Their restaurant and bar stays open late, not only on the weekends, but weekdays too. Bad Boys specializes in Quad City style pizza and daily specials, so be sure to keep an eye out for those. They also offer food carryout and pizza delivery options at your convenience. They have a full bar at all 3 locations with 24 taps in Moline, 32 taps in Davenport, and 20 taps in downtown Davenport. They also host exciting events such as Quad City Storm Parties, NFL Sunday ticket giveaways, and other sports viewing festivities. Bad Boys always has the coldest beer, and the atmosphere is always welcoming. For great people, drinks, and Quad City style pizza, choose Bad Boys. Durham Remodeling has been serving the Quad Cities area since 1973. With nearly 50 years of excellence on their track record, you'll see why it's so easy to trust their experts when it comes to all your home improvement projects. Durham Remodeling's work is 100% guaranteed, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best service around. Call 309-786-6715 for all your roofing, siding, flooring, windows, and painting needs. That's Durham Remodeling, 309-786-6715. It's Sunday Fun Day over at Frick's Tap. Iowa's second oldest bar is guaranteed to have your favorite team on one of their 13 TV screens with NFL Sunday Ticket. Get on into Frick's now, where they will be joined by Smoked Out Smokehouse every Sunday. And boy, does that menu look great. Barbecue smoked ribs, pork chops, wings, you name it, you can get it during your football game over at Frick's. So for Frick's sake, head into Frick's sake. Frick's Tap, wow. 1402 West 3rd Street, Davenport. I was doing really well there, too.
You were.
Yeah.
You know what surprises me every week? You read that every week about how they're the second oldest bar in Iowa, and it always blows my mind. Like, that's a long time.
Yeah. Why we talk wide receivers, I'll get that official number there for you.
Of how long they've been in business?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a little less time than you've been alive. I think they were like 18 something, but
I was going to say it was probably about the time that the wife was born, but okay, I don't hear her coming stammering down the stairs to murder me, so I don't think she heard that. All right, let's take a look at these wide receivers. Cooper Kupp, stock up. Oh yes, the other big news this week is Odell Beckham Jr. has decided to sign with the LA Rams. I don't see him here on this first sheet. I assume he will show up here pretty soon. No Bobby Trees. Pour one out for Bobby Trees. He is done for the year. So Cooper Kupp probably stocked up there. Stephon Diggs, we keep putting him up here in the top 5, and he keeps not producing top 5 numbers. So I'm not sure about that. Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill. Are the Chiefs going to lose to? How are the Chiefs going to lose to the Vegas this week with no Henry Ruggs?
they'll find a way. Hunter Renfrow, they'll forget to cover somebody. It'll be okay.
Okay.
It'll be Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the guy who'll get loose in the back end. Back there. Evans, CeeDee Lamb. Yeah. No Gronk and no Antonio Brown this week. Chris Godwin will play, according to ESPN. So you got Evans over Godwin this week. Is that just because of the injury uncertainty?
Yeah, and it's guaranteed now that Mike Evans will flop, and it'll be a fun time.
Lame. And then Debo at 12. I feel like you're missing somebody. Maybe it's just a crappy week. Keenan Allen at 8. Okay, maybe that's. Oh, I know who you're missing. The Seattle guys. Who are probably on the next.
DK and Lockett.
Yeah.
Yep.
1450. Make a choice.
I did. DK Metcalf is my choice in that battle.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Been trying to acquire Tyler Lockett in one of my leagues for at least 6 weeks.
Then make a decent offer. Like I said, hate trading. All right. Justin wants to know where OBJ is. Clearly he's not on this. I'll give DJ this week that he's probably going to be a little bit lower because it is a new scheme. And he's only been in LA for a couple of days.
Yeah,
but I would expect him to be probably in the lower end of this page going forward.
Nah, don't expect anything. OBJ, not on the rankings this week.
No, that's where do you have Van Jefferson? Because they were saying on ESPN this morning that he's the guy who's going to take over that Bobby Trees role.
Yeah, 32.
God, you're so terrible. No, that's wrong.
Robert, when I made these rankings, Robert Woods' ACL was still intact. Okay. I have enough things to get ready before the show that I did not want to readjust my entire rankings.
You could do some of that earlier in the week.
I got kids.
Just saying. I do the shot sheet Friday night. Anyway, go back to the other page. I'm not done complaining about that page yet. McLaurin, Mark Cooper, Mike Williams, Thielen, Godwin, Judy.
The Chiefs will forget to cover Hunter Renfrow enough times this week that Hunter Renfrow will definitely be a top 20 wide receiver.
And you like Judy more than Cortland Sutton this week?
Yeah, Sutton will likely be covered by Darius Slay. So
in that Chiefs-Raiders matchup, do you obviously you like Renfrow a little more, but who do you think has the bigger impact, Renfrow or Edwards?
Like just overall in the game?
Yeah.
Probably Renfrow, because Renfrow will probably be matched up with Daniel Sorensen, who doesn't know how to. I don't know. If he was a Tupperware piece of Tupperware, he would be the lid because it doesn't cover anything. That was funny.
No,
I chuckled.
That was terrible.
Yeah, Edwards probably be okay PPR. However, the Chiefs have been awful against the tight end, so I would assume that a lot of those would go to
Waller.
So yeah. Yeah, Jordan, I know lids cover things, but your Tupperware lids don't cover anything because you either lose the lid or the piece of Tupperware it connects to.
I never have any problems with any of my Tupperware. Because I'm a responsible adult.
Okay, where do I get one of those?
Reason.
Your wife.
Fair.
Yes. All right. Let's go on to page 3 so we can tell you how terrible that is, too. Manny Sanders, he's up and down. I don't know. I took him out of the lineups I had. I don't trust him anymore. Man, he's too hit and miss. He's either 12 or he's 0, and there's no in between.
Well, you're still playing Mike Evans places.
Yeah, but Evans is more like 18 or 4.
More fantasy.
I'm not willing to take the goose egg.
More fantasy points.
Oh, good Lord. Okay.
Emmanuel Sanders or Darnell Mooney?
Emmanuel Sanders.
It's actually Darnell Mooney by a full point, by just 1 point, 1 catch.
Respect the Darnell Mooney.
Mm-hmm.
Emmanuel Sanders or Jacoby Myers?
Myers.
I am a big Jacoby Myers fan, so I'm going to say Myers.
The answer is Emmanuel Sanders.
Boo.
Lame.
Emmanuel Sanders or A.J. Brown?
Emmanuel Sanders.
This is a trick question. This is that trick question from the running backs with Dalvin, where A.J. Brown's probably more points per game on average, but has played in fewer games.
Well, I don't know. A.J. Brown's exploded for like 60 points the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's A.J. Brown. He has 113 points. Manny Sanders with 100. Emmanuel Sanders or Tyler Boyd?
Sanders.
Boyd.
No, it's Emmanuel Sanders. Emmanuel Sanders or Allen Robinson?
Now you're just trying to hurt me.
30 points.
Why-
30
Why
points.
do you do this? Why do you do this to us?
30 points, Doug.
How do I mute you? Let me see if I can find the mute button for you. Hey, look, there you are. Hey, he's gone. All right. Hey, that's how you do that. That's
Doug,
fine.
we'll play a game. Emmanuel Sanders
Now
or
Doug's
Byron
gonna-
Pringle.
and
Emmanuel
now
Sanders or McCole Hardman.
Now Doug's going to read the commercials.
I can read a commercial. I have to bring them up. I'll read the commercials this go time. That's fine. Let me find them. Brandon IU, Christian Kirk. Okay, let's do the Christian Kirk versus Rondale Moore discussion this week. Why do you like Kirk more than Moore this week? Oh, you remuted yourself? Okay.
Yeah, I want to respect my elders.
Oh.
Yeah, so Moore is been dealing with the hurt he had all week, and so I wasn't sure when I made this that that he was going to play, but I still go with Kirk. 6 targets, 91 yards last week from McCoy.
Okay. That is fair enough. And then Marquez Callaway, I guess, does still exist in New Orleans.
Barely, but yes.
Barely.
That's a
And-
nasty situation. That place is just gross.
Haunted, I think, is the word that you're looking for.
Yep.
And then Tim Patrick, quarterback 1. All right. So that'll take us to the end of this segment. I will read the commercials better than DJ does. And then on the other side of this, we will talk inactives and
Hey! Before we go, Mecole Hardman or Allen Robinson?
Allen Robinson.
Nah, it's Mecole Hardman.
Oh,
5 locations located in the Quad Cities area, Ray's Barbershop has provided first-class service, haircutting, and shaves since 2010. Ray's Barbershop has been voted the Quad Cities' favorite barbershop year after year. Ray's takes tremendous pride in their work and in maintaining the fine art of classic meets modern barbering. Ray's goes above and beyond to make sure our clients' level of satisfaction is met. You won't find the Ray's experience anywhere else. Located in the Belgian neighborhood of 7th Street in Moline, Clint's Draft House Pizza and Grill is home to some of the Quad Cities' best food and drink specials. On Sundays, there's no better place to be. Clint's is serving up 75-cent wings and $4 Bloody Marys all day. And your favorite team playing those out-of-market games? You'll never miss a second of the action on one of their 10 screens with the NFL Sunday Ticket. And after you've had your wing and bloody fix, finish your football watching experience with one of those famous Quad City-style pies. And folks, they know pizza. They've been spinning QC-style pies for the last 22 years. So make Clint's part of your Sunday football routine. Clint's Draft House Pizza and Grill, 7th Street in Moline. Who doesn't need a solid handcuffed on their fantasy squad? Grab a bite to eat at Clint's Draft House while watching the noon games, then head on across the Rock Island Moline border to the Corner Tap for some libations during those 3 o'clock games. Every Sunday is fun day at the corner with $3 Tall Boys, Bloody Marys, Jack Daniels, and $2 PBR drafts. Head to the Corner Tap, 4018 14th Avenue, Rock Island, and get into the end zone. Boom. Like I never left.
So week 10 inactives. Also, there's this thing. Carson Wentz's wife is expecting a child, and they said that if she goes into labor during the game, nobody's going to tell him. He's just going to play.
She's exposed. So, like, Amazon's like delivering this. Is it 2-day shipping? What do we got?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
There's going to be a text alert.
The doctors plan to induce labor tomorrow. So, all right. So inactive for the Bills. Tremaine Edmonds is inactive. Linebacker Tremaine Edmonds.
And this is what Doug does reading.
Because I can read. Don't forget, Latula Lele is also out.
He He has the vid. For the Jets, fantasy relevant, nobody because they're the Jets. But no Zach Wilson, which means another opportunity for Jordan to start Mike White. No Michael Pirine for the Bucks. No Kyle Trask. No Antonio Brown. No Gronk. Washington's without Curtis Samuel. I don't think he's played all year. And no Antonio Gandy Golden. Falcons, nobody fantasy relevant. They're the Falcons. But tight end Lee Smith inactive. For the Cowboys, again, no Tyron Smith. The Saints, no Alvin Kamara, no Teron Armstead, no Nick Vannett, no Lil Jordan Humphrey. What's up?
Anybody else? No, it's 4 guys that are fantasy relevant.
So the Titans, nobody fantasy relevant here. Rashawn Evans isn't playing. So if you're playing IDP, that might be a big deal.
Julio just went on the IR again.
And Julio just went on the IR, yeah.
Julio's
So I would call him fantasy relevant.
He's not ruled inactive. I'm reading the inactives. He's out.
Okay.
For the Jags, nobody fantasy relevant, but offensively, Tyron Johnson, Devin Azagubo, and Jacob Hollister. The Colts will be without Marlon Mack and Xavier Rhodes. For the Lions, no Josh Reynolds. Jamal Williams is inactive. He is on this inactive list. So no Jamal Williams. For the Steelers, no Chase Claypool, no Anthony McFarland. He's fantasy relevant. Chase Claypool, that is. The Browns, obviously, we know that Chubb has the vid. Patriots, no Damian Harris, no Jonnu Smith. That's it for the noon games. The Arizona does play at 3:05 today. So if you have a Kyler Murray, if you have a DeAndre Hopkins, if you have a Rondale Moore and you're expecting to play them, make sure you have a secondary option. Shane Newbanks is doing backflips because he's playing the Kyler Murray manager in our league.
Just for clarification, your secondary option, would that be more like cheese or more like milk or butter?
I was going to say yogurt.
Yogurt's gross.
Because of the amazing lady from Prairie Farms that gave us dairy after our Paula Sands thing, anything that Prairie Farms has, they're award-winning dairy products.
That'd be the primary dairy, though, not the second dairy.
On to tight ends.
I can dad joke better than you. I got more experience. Travis Kelce against Vegas, wrong. Darren Waller against Kansas City, correct. That needs to be higher. George Kittle. Kyle Pitts. Hawk. I agree with Brian. Hawkinson probably a little higher there. Dawson Knox against the Jets. Pat Freiermuth coming on strong. Dalton Schultz, Fant, Ertz, and Dan Arnold from accounting.
I do want to let you know that why I besmirched the Chiefs on giving up being very bad against the tight end. They are allowing an entire point a game less to opposing tight ends than the Las Vegas Raiders.
Ooh, a whole point.
The Raiders are the worst team in the NFL against opposing tight ends.
And so that makes Kansas City the second worst.
No, they're the third. There's another team that's worse than the Chiefs.
Oh.
That's the Philadelphia Eagles. Fire up your Noah Fants.
Eagles. Well, after Waller destroys them today, they'll move. Yes. Yeah, because that won't be any good there. Who else is on by? And then Andrews played Thursday night. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No Houston this week. Not that they have anybody fantasy relevant either, but
just Brandon Cooks.
No Cole
You're,
Kmet done by.
you're still holding on to that Texans thing. No CJ Uzama, and Dan Arnold sitting at number 12 because no Evan Ingram to hold that spot for me. Because if Evan Ingram was playing, he would be my number 12 tight end.
I'm kind of surprised that Ricky Seals-Jones isn't on there.
He's hurt, isn't he?
No, I thought Logan Thomas is hurt.
Logan Thomas is the broke one, Doug.
Okay.
But Thomas may be back this week. He may get some time.
They're both were converted from a different position, so that's why I'm confused. Where's your boy OJ? Where's Nate's boy OJ Howard on this list?
I did originally have Hunter Henry at number 12, but I squeezed Dawson Knox in there after I found out he was going to be active. He has BFFs with the quarterback, so I had
Wait. Dawson Knox or Dalton Schultz? Because you said Dalton Knox.
Oh, yeah, both. Got hit in the head a few too many times today.
What about Cameron Brate?
Or anybody from Tampa Bay, especially with Gronk and AB out.
Yeah, we got Mike Evans there in the top 10.
He's not a tight end.
Yeah.
Might as well be.
Okay. Is there a second page to the tight ends?
There is not.
Okay. So you've totally royally screwed this up. Good to know.
There's never 2 pages of the tight ends.
I don't remember. I don't know if there's 2 pages of tight ends. I don't know if there's 2 pages of quarterbacks. It's not like I do the show every week. Okay. He's left. We made him mad. So let's see what else. Other than that, Andrew, what other kind of big – let's jump back quick because let's jump all the way back to the quarterbacks in there because Seattle is playing against Green Bay. So Russ is coming off an extension or a long extended kind of period off. And then obviously Rodgers was out last week there. So both guys have been kind of off for a little bit of a period here. Who do you expect to kind of come in and play a little bit better in that game?
Personally, I think it's Russell Wilson. Just because, and this goes back to the game after he got hurt. He was still out there running fake drills, preparing for a game.
Yes.
With ghost players. Aaron Rodgers spent his off time dealing with the media and yelling at people and trying his damnedest to get canceled.
Yep. Sure did. When Mark Hamill comes for you because you're wearing a Star Wars shirt and saying stupid things, that's when you know you've went too far. Because Mark Hamill's one of the nicest people on the planet.
Mark Hamill's a nice guy.
Yes. DJ's not even here to besmirch my Star Wars love. So
too bad.
I do like the Sith vibe that you've got going on there too, by the way.
Empire forever.
There you go. All right. What else do we have at the end of this segment? We have ran out of gas with no DJ rambling on. In here, let's see what else. We'll take a look at some of these games. Anything that looks interesting in here. I agree with Brian. Atlanta, Dallas might be the best game of the day, at least of that early slate in there. Seattle, Green Bay is obviously probably the best game of the day. KCLV tonight, and then Rams, Frisco tomorrow night.
I don't know. Me personally, I'm a fan of this Browns-Patriots matchup, but I like defense. I'm a big defensive guy.
Yeah, that one might be a slobber knocker.
And I'm excited to see how the Browns operate now that OBJ is not distracting them. And then also at the same time, I'm hoping Jacoby Myers finally gets his touchdown. Or maybe he records like 7. I don't know. He deserves it.
Yeah. That's what's going to happen is he's going to get like a bunch all in one game. You know what it's going to be? It's going to be in like week 16 after that team has busted out of the playoffs. That's when Jacoby Myers will go nuts.
Probably.
And he'll get like 4 in a game or something crazy like that.
Because then at that point, Mac Jones doesn't care anymore, and he's just playing to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jordan says that the Vikings-Chargers game will be good. I don't know about all of that, man. What we do have there is 2 teams that like to lose by kicking bad field goals. So if you want to watch bad kicking, I suppose that's the game for you there.
Yeah, they both find ways to lose just in heartbreaking fashion. So
yeah.
I think if you're a sucker for sob stories and sad movies, that's the game to watch.
Yep. At least with the Bears, we know that we're going to lose right from the get-go. So,
and then get false hope, and then get screwed over by the officials.
Yes. As Cubs fans, we call that a fake rally, where you mount a comeback late in the 8th or the 9th. You get a couple of guys on in scoring position, pull within a run or 2, and then don't capitalize. So the Bears are starting to specialize in that nowadays as well.
Thanks a lot, Maggie.
Yeah, exactly. Since this is your first rodeo here with us this year, what's been kind of your opinion on Fields?
I'm very impressed with him. I've been high on him since day one, though.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be very sad. So it's a little sad story. 2 years ago, I sat there and I was perfectly okay with the Bears losing and running with Mitch Trubisky. My thought process was either Trubisky's going to lead us to the Super Bowl or he's going to flat out bust. Bears are going to get number 1 pick and draft Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields. They wound up passing 2 years ago on Jalen Hurts, which is fine. I like Jalen Hurts. Great quarterback. Kind of wanted him, but I knew that the Bears had other issues they needed to address. Fast forward a year, they end up drafting Justin Fields. Ecstatic with the pick.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was the whole thing in the offseason. Well, Andy Dalton's our starting quarterback. Well, this is our guy. You didn't think Mitch Trubisky was worth $10 million less than Andy Dalton? That was what blew my mind. Was the fact that they passed on Trubisky, ended up signing with Buffalo for $2.5 million,
mm-hmm.
and then they signed Andy Dalton for like $12 million. And now Dalton played 2 games, got hurt. That's the thing, is that he got hurt. So it's not entirely Dalton's fault or his lack of talent. It's the fact that he got hurt. Justin Fields came in, took over, and the fans kind of embraced him.
Yeah.
So, and really, I think Fields' struggles have come from Matt Nagy's play calling.
Yeah, we saw that the week that Nagy was off when Laser was calling all the plays.
And it's been the same issue the entire time Nagy's been there. Do I think Mitch Trubisky was, the franchise guy, the Super Bowl caliber quarterback? No, he was a serviceable quarterback. He was your Trent Dilfer. He was your Matt Hasselbeck, your guy that can come in, play your system, do well, and win you a game.
Both of those guys got to a Super Bowl, by the way.
That's my point. But they did it on the back of great defenses.
Mm-hmm.
Trubisky was never going to be an Aaron Rodgers. He was never going to be a Tom Brady. He didn't have that. Justin Fields, I think, has that extending playmaking ability to where he's able to get to that next level. But Matt Nagy needs to employ people and game plans to allow Justin Fields to do so. That's my biggest problem with Matt Nagy, and it's been that same problem the last 4 years.
No, yeah. The fact that he says that it also takes 4 years for somebody to learn his playbook is bad. That's not the way the NFL functions. There's too much turnover. You don't get 4 years to learn a playbook. You get an off season. So you have to be able to grasp those concepts, get it in there, and you can tweak and iterate on that going forward. But to say that it takes you 4 years to learn a playbook, it just doesn't fly in the NFL. You have to be able to get guys into your system and get them comfortable quickly. OBJ's not going to take 4 years to get comfortable in LA. He's got 4 days.
Yep.
To learn that playbook. He's going to come in, he's going to step in, and he's going to do a decent job there. That's my whole problem with the whole thing.
By that logic, though, you're saying that you're going to spend a first-round draft pick on somebody that could be a bust.
Mm-hmm.
Name a recent bust in the last 3 years.
I don't know.
Okay, you know what? I'll throw possibly the biggest bust in NFL history, Jamarcus Russell.
Okay.
Are you going to tell me that you draft Jamarcus Russell and you're going to give that man 4 years to try and make a statement in the NFL if he can't learn the playbook and can't play well? You're going to let him suffer for 4 years as this man tries to learn a playbook. And not just him. Everybody
the
around
entire
him.
offense.
So it's like you said, Doug, there's way too much turnover in the NFL for that. There's not enough time to do that. There's absolutely no reason. That is ludicrous.
Exactly. All right. So that'll take us to the end of this segment. On the other side, we will take your questions. And then we will do the rapid fires. DJ may or may not be back with us. I think he's still on strike because he says that segment was boring, but he was wrong. All right. Let me do the reads then for the last ones. Bad Boy Pizza isn't hard to find. Now serving in 3 locations, Moline, Davenport, and downtown Davenport at the River Music Experience. Their restaurant and bar stay open late not only on the weekends, but weekdays too. Bad Boy specializes in Quad City-style pizzas and daily specials, so be sure to keep an eye out for those. They also offer food, carry-out, and pizza delivery options at your convenience. They have a full bar in all 3 locations with 24 taps in Moline, 32 taps in Davenport, and 20 in downtown Davenport. They also host exciting events such as the Quad City Storm, NFL Sunday ticket giveaways, and other sports viewing parties. Bad Boys always has the coldest beer, and the atmosphere is always welcoming. For great people, drinks, and Quad City-style pizzas, choose Bad Boys. Serving the Quad Cities area since 1872, Frick's Tap is always a great choice for your Sunday fun day activities. Iowa's second oldest bar is guaranteed to have your favorite team on one of their 13 TV screens with NFL Sunday Ticket. Get on into Frick's now, where they will be joined by Smoked Out Smokehouse every Sunday. And boy, does that menu look great. Barbecue smoked ribs, pork chops, wings, you name it, you can get it during your football game over at Frick's. So for Frick's sake, head into Frick's, 1402 West 3rd Street in Davenport. Hey, look who's back. It's Brian.
Hey, guys.
All righty, let's take a look at some of these questions. We only have, there they go. I was going to say we only had Jake Scudder in there. That's low. All right, we'll start with Mr. Scudder, and we will move on through everybody else. So, Jake wants to know, Zach Moss or Adrian Peterson this week?
Zach Moss for me.
Zach Moss.
Agreed.
100%.
I was muted, but I agreed, Moss.
Adrian Peterson or J.D. McKissick?
McKissick by far.
McKissick.
I'm also going McKissick.
All right, so then on top of that, Peterson, McKissick, or Antonio Gibson?
McKissick again for me.
McKissick.
Is that a combo question, or is that a pick between?
It's 2 different lines, so I'm going to say they're 2 different questions in 2 different leagues.
Yeah, McKissick. Going McKissick.
Yeah, I might roll the dice on Gibson just to get some more coverage somewhere, just in case he goes off. But that would be my thinking behind that. Manny Sanders, Mike Davis, or Marvin Jones?
Marvin Jones for me.
Jones.
Marvin Jones is due for another breakout game.
All righty. Next up is Mr. Jordan Rangel. Noah Fant or Zach Ertz?
Fant.
Fant.
I think Murray's out. So
I'm kind of going to lean towards Zach Ertz here. And that's just because I'm still unsure as how Denver's offense is going to function with all those players kind of getting in the mix. Ertz is kind of the primary target at tight end. D-Hop is out. You got Rondale Moore, who's I think also out, or is he questionable?
I think Moore's going to play as of this morning.
But I mean, Ertz is going to be your number one target there, and with some of those big names possibly being out, I think he gets a lot more opportunities, especially against the Carolina team that is kind of struggling right now.
I agree with Andrew on that. All right, pick one of Daryl Williams or Melvin Gordon.
I'm going Gordon.
Gordon.
Yeah, I'm going Gordon too.
I like Melvin Gordon. He's going to score. He's a lot of it's touchdown dependent, but he finds the end zone.
Deej, you wish to have a dissenting opinion?
Not Gordon.
Okay. Then pick one of Beasley, Moss, Daryl Williams, Mark Ingram, Jacoby Myers, or MG3. Wait, are those two separate questions or are those all one question, Deej?
Say what?
Is Jacoby Myers and MG3, is that part of that same question? Or is that a separate question?
That's a separate question, I believe. Yeah. That's
Okay, so Beasley, Moss, Daryl Williams, or Mark Ingram?
I'll go Daryl Williams.
Beasley.
I like Zach Moss. Zach Moss against a struggling Jets team. I'll take it.
Yeah, I feel the touchdown in there. All right. Then Jacoby Myers or MG3?
MG3.
I'm going to go
Same
Myers.
here.
Nope. I like my boy Jacoby Myers. I'm clinging on to hope.
All right. MG3 or Mark Ingram?
MG3 for me.
MG3 as well.
Same.
I'll go Ingram.
Hurts or Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson on the layoff.
I'm gonna say Hurts.
I also like Russell Wilson here.
Let Russ cook. All right. Fant or Dalton Schultz?
This is why I'm saying Hurts.
I'll go with Schultz.
They have snow in Seattle too.
It's a not snow game. I
Fant or Schultz?
Fant.
I'll go Fant.
Yeah, I think I will. Are we 100% rolling with James Robinson this week? I feel like we've already answered that, so I'm going to say yes. Who is Doug's top kicker in this league? Consult with Linda. She is our kicking expert. She has a whole spreadsheet and everything.
Kickspert.
I like that, Kickspert. All right. Cousin Bo wants to know, in the TV heavy league, Ramondre Stevenson, Christian Kirk, or Boston Scott?
Stevenson.
Yeah, Stevenson.
I think Kirk is an interesting play there, but I think you go Stevenson.
Yeah, same. And in the non-PPR league, Zach Moss or Stephon Diggs?
Stephon Diggs.
Diggs.
All righty. Should Doug have played P.J. Walker over Trevor Siemian? Probably, but Doug wasn't digging that deep into the available player list. Just took the first guy at the top. Who is a more expensive option in DraftKings, Michael Carter or Antonio Gibson? Mr. DraftKings expert?
Carter.
It's true.
All right. All righty. Justin has pick 3. Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Deontay Johnson, or Michael Pittman. I think Justin's just rubbing that one in.
You couldn't go wrong with sitting any of them. I was starting all of them, so whatever.
Yeah.
It's just too good of a team. So
I would probably, of those, sit Johnson. That'd be my guess with Mason Rudolph starting today. That'd be the way that I would lean there.
I agree with Doug there.
And then Gunnar wants to know why Doug won't trade me Justin Fields or Mark Andrews. I was willing to trade you Justin Fields for that Lamar Jackson deal, and then you just changed your mind. So it's not that I'm not willing, just haven't found the deal there yet with that. All right. So with that, we will move over to the rapid fighters. First up, Dearness Johnson over under 76.5 rushing yards versus the Pats.
I'm going to go under. He's going to have a good game. Maybe that's too high.
Yeah, I agree.
Under.
Over.
DJ is wrong. Cordero Patterson over under 40.5 receiving yards versus Dallas.
Over.
I'll take the over there. I'll take the over.
All right, I'll take the under. I'm feeling like 40 is like right where it will be. I'll take like 39. Terry McLaurin over under 70.5 receiving yards versus Tampa.
Under.
Under.
I'm gonna go over. I like the over.
I like the over there too. All right, top scoring Week 10 quarterback.
Brady.
Allen.
Tom
Josh
Brady.
Allen. Josh Allen is the correct answer there. All right. Najee Harris over under 93.5 rushing yards versus the Lions.
That's high. I'm over, though.
Over.
Over as well.
Same. All right. Justin Herbert over under 293.5 passing yards versus Minnesota.
I'm going to go over.
Under. I don't think there's enough time in the game for that.
I'm gonna go over.
Not only am I going to go over, I'm going to say he's going to get 200 of those in the fourth quarter just to crush Jordan Randall. DJ Moore over under 16.5 receiving yards.
Under.
Under.
I'm gonna go the over because he has the potential to take a little short drag route and take it the length of the field.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Somebody's got to catch the ball for Carolina. It's probably going to be him. Top scoring running back for this week.
Najee.
Jonathan Taylor.
Najee's probably the right
I
answer.
also like Najee there.
Yep. That is the correct answer. Where am I at? Devontae Smith over under 58.5 receiving yards.
Under.
Under.
Yeah, under.
Over.
Aaron Jones over under 61.5 rushing yards versus
Over.
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 Corollary.
Seattle's defense is not great.
Corollary. How many yards does AJ Dillon get?
60.
Under.
60? Yeah. So you're saying they're going to have about the same, Brian?
I think it'll be close. I think Aaron Jones will lead, but I think it'll be relatively close.
Fair enough. Stephon Diggs over under 74.5 yards receiving.
Over.
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 Over. Top scoring wideout for this week.
I'm going with A.J. Brown.
Give me Stephon Diggs.
Mike Williams.
Cooper Cup.
Go out on a limb, Deej. Mark Ingram over under 55.5 rushing yards.
Over.
Under.
Over. I saw a stat today that said I think it said that he needs 50 yards today to become the Saints' all-time leading rusher. So they're going to get him there.
Yep, I agree with you over there.
Okay. Jonathan Taylor over under 89.5 yards against Jacksonville.
Over.
Only if they're trying to get Wentz off to see the baby, shortening that game.
I will also say the over there, but I'm going to say just over.
Yeah, me too.
Hunter Renfrow over under 5.5 catches versus Kansas City.
He'll get 8.
Yeah, it's going to be
15.
over.
22.
Top scoring top scoring tight end this week, and that is Darren Waller all day.
Retweet.
Yes, sir.
I'm going with Kelsey.
Ooh.
I hope you're right, Brian.
I feel it this week for him.
I hope in tight end premium, Kelsey is the number one tight end this week with like 35 points, and Waller has like 30. So
I'm going to say in DFS it's going to be Hawkinson.
All right. Cooper Kupp over under 96.5 receiving yards.
I'm gonna say under.
It's a big number, but I'll go over.
You have to go over because you took him as the number 1 wide receiver this week.
If you catch a lot of passes for under 96 yards, bro.
Whatever. All right, that is the last question on the list. I was supposed to come up with one, but didn't. So, there you go. Unless you want to talk Taylor Swift.
No.
And that album.
No.
Yeah, there's a question. Would you listen to a 10-minute song?
No. Unless it was American Pie.
There's no way, and I certainly wouldn't try to dance with one at a wedding. So,
or Freebird.
I think it depends upon the 10-minute song.
Well, there's her 10-minute song. You can go listen to her slam Jake Gyllenhaal all over the place for 10 minutes.
I am in for it. I am listening to that as soon as we hop off.
Excellent. All righty. So that'll take us to the end of the show. As always, we want to thank Mobile Party Experience for sponsoring all of this nonsense. Brian, thank you so much for joining us every week, just like you always do. And Andrew, thank you so much for pinch hitting for Chris this week.
Not a problem.
Thanks for having me. A great time once again. Good luck, everybody.
All right. So for DJ, I am Doug. We will see you all next week. The guy who was supposed to be here this week will be here next week. Whatever his name was, I forget. I apologize. All I got is a Twitter handle. So, and I don't even remember that. So,
DFS Prodigy.
Yeah, him. So he will be here next week. In there. Next week is also, I believe next week should also be everybody's favorite Thanksgiving draft.
We got to hook that up in the Discord this week. So
yes, so be prepared for that.
Deviled Eggs 1-1.
Then that, and we will have we will set aside an entire segment to listen to us bicker about that, because that's always a fun segment every year. So for Deej, I'm Doug. That's Brian, and that's Andrew. We will see y'all next week.
Bye, everybody.
Take care, guys.
Hey, guys.